Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 25th, 2026. It is 4:40 a.m. I just did a video for PYTE. Harry and Meghan are in Jordan right now, today and tomorrow. So I wasn't aware of that until a few moments ago. So I grabbed some tweets to share with you. It's on PYTE. But on this video, we're going to focus on different topics, you know, the leftovers and whatnot. Okay, so let's go on X. So this is the first tweet. I wonder which monarchy I was going to watch fall in my lifetime. Just N, no, so that was 12 hours ago they posted that. Just N, Norway's King Harold, 89, admitted to a hospital in Spain's Canary Islands during his winter vacation there. AP. Okay, so there he is here. OMG, LOL, I've watched the fall of the Laos, Cambodia, but it was again in the police monarchies. Anyone forgot from the 70s to now? Okay, I don't follow. If it wasn't for Meghan, there is absolutely no way I'll be looking into monarchies. Okay, I don't give a shit about them unless if they bother me. All right. So which one are the kids of the very nice lady I enjoy on that PBS show Atlantic Crossing? Damn it. Okay, I don't know. He's the baby in that series or no? Okay. Wasn't he the one whose daughter is marrying that black gentleman? Let me pause for a second. I think, and then wasn't he the one also Harry made reference to that there's something Harry had said. I have the video somewhere. Please do not come after me because I don't know the names, okay? I don't know the names. So this is the question that I asked Google. Is Norway's King Harold's daughter married a black man? Okay, it says yes. So this is the one that I was thinking of. All right, Princess Martha Louise of Norway, the daughter of King Harold and Queen Sonja. So who's next on line? Okay, now I'm asking myself question. I don't want this video to be too long, but now I'm asking myself question. If something were to happen to the king, who's next in line? Let me pause for a second. So pretty much who I was thinking of, yes, that's him. He was on the Netflix series. And I think he has some condition going on. But anyway, let's not go there. Who's next in line in Norway King if he passed away? Okay, so I asked who's next in line after Norway's King Harold? Crown Prince Haakon, King Harold's the fifth's only son, born in 1973, is next in line to the Norwegian throne. He is followed by his eldest child, Princess Ingrid Alexandra, born 2004, as second in line, and then her younger. Okay, so there's that. Let me see if there's any images. Okay, so that's him here. And this is the sister. Okay, so there they are here. So this is the next line of succession. Okay. I see. There he is here. Okay, so back on X. So he's in the hospital, pretty much. I don't know much about them, okay? I share with you whatever I'm thinking.
And, you know, recently, within the last couple of months, the King of the Netherlands and the King of Norway have led by example.
The King of the Netherlands has acknowledged and apologized for the role that slavery and colonialism took in shaping the country, and is taking steps to try to ensure that its citizens do not feel that they are being discriminated against. And the King of Norway has recently come to the defense of his daughter and her fiance, who is black. The couple have been subject to racist remarks and comments. The King has asked for both unconscious and conscious racism to be stopped.
And I congratulate them for that. enormously. And I don't think they've been given enough credit for what they've done. But it is huge. And more of that is needed.
All right, so that's that. That's not the main focus for this video. So I saw it and I thought I'd share with you. The next one we're gonna focus on is the BAFTA. Before I share the tweet, I'm gonna insert a video that I did on PYTE about the tabloid in the UK, how they operate. A small portion of it, because they are masterful at this, how to create imagery to play with people's mind. So here's the video.
When racism as such, as a philosophy, kicked in, was as a direct reaction to the abolitionist movement. The abolitionist movement driven by some of the leading intellectuals of the day, as well as driven by hundreds of thousands of ordinary people in this kingdom who signed petitions after petitions and presented them to the House of Lords. When the abolition movement really kicked in from the 1780s onwards, the planters had to respond. And so this is where you get the most virulent imagery about brutal, pagan, bestial.
But the media is a powerful force.
Black people in the literature and in the imagery.
Cartoons portraying black people as licentious and depraved began to circulate.
But the media is a powerful force.
The anti-abolitionist Edward Long wrote,
"The lower class women in England are remarkably fond of the blacks. In the course of a few generations more, the English blood will become so contaminated with this mixture as even to reach the middle and then the higher orders of the people. This is a venomous and dangerous ulcer that threatens to disperse its malignancy far and wide until every family catches infection from it."
But the media is a powerful force.
So the video that I just shared with you was something that I did back in 2020 when I was starting to look into the royal family and the connection with the media and how they manipulate the mind with imagery to pretty much convey their information to the people. So with our time now, they still continue doing the same tactic. They practice the same tactic in our time, but differently. So they just adjust their tactic to fit with the new environment. And I think some of the things that happened at the BAFTA regarding the gentleman who called out the N-word and at the BAFTA. So I don't know. I feel like it was deliberate. They try to downplay it, put it in an environment where people will not take it the way that African American is taking it, but they sort of downplay it, put it in an environment where people will not think too much of it. But these people are freaking crazy. Something like that should not even happen, but it did happen. And the way they find ways of entertaining themselves by annoying other people. So they have a way of downplaying or gaslighting certain group of people in a way where I don't know, they find fun to themselves. I don't know. I just thought I shared that video with you that I did back in 2020, how they do things to downplay their racism. That's all. But days after the BAFTA, other things have come up. I think the gentleman, I don't know his name, who called out the N-word during the BAFTA, I think he had apologized, but I'm editing this video days later after I first recorded it. Okay, so let's get back to the original recording. All right, so now this is the first tweet here. I hope whatever I'm thinking, I make reference to it. So this is about the BAFTA. The moment that I saw the thing, Actually, I didn't watch the BAFTA award, and I didn't even know there was a BAFTA until Meghan was over there. I think the Queen had given her to be a patron of the art or something like that. Let's just say it's when Meghan was in the UK. I was aware of it. Majority of Americans don't even know anything about the BAFTA. Okay, probably what just happened, the rest of the American who didn't know probably are aware of it. Yes, definitely. Actors, musicians, whoever in the art probably were aware of it because they travel more. But regular Americans, I don't think they know. So what just happened over there, a lot of Americans know the signal. They saw what happened. And this is the thing with these people in the UK. The royal family, they digging themselves, and I think it was a distraction. And I think it's just not, I'm not the only one who saw it, because now I'm seeing more people saying almost the same thing. Okay, so this is the tweet. I'm beginning to think BAFTA, their president and company, and BBC set John Davison up almost like they wanted him to say something controversial and then to use what he said as a distraction to take the heat from somebody else. Are they really this diabolical? Okay, when did she post that? 6:30 p.m. February 24. Let me pause and see when I post mine. Okay, when I post this on my community board, it was 1 day ago, so it's hard. If it went in terms of the time, I could have compared it with this, so never mind. It doesn't matter anyway. All right, so I read this. As I reflect on the auditorium, I remember there was a microphone just in front of me, and with hindsight, I have to question whether this was wise, so close to where I was sitting, knowing I will tick. So who wrote that? Was it the guy who said it? Who said the N-word? Alright, so there's me here. I posted this 51 minutes ago. I recognize it right away. They had their backup explanation ready, a clear case of blame shifting. With everything that was coming from them last week, they can manage the situation. What I mean by that, the Epstein thing, the connection, Andrew and William, and then Andrew being arrested and all of that. Nah, he got paid. He will have apologized by now. As soon as it happened, he promoted his movie. He has apparently been trying to personally get in touch with them, so I'll give him grace. Okay, John, MBJ, and Delroy were all set up by BAFTA and BBC. Why? Besides the obvious humiliation and rating boost, what currently going on that people want attention drawn away from? Who was just stripped of his royal title, arrested, and is being investigated exactly. Alright, so people saw it. Studio Canal were working closely with BAFTA, and BAFTA had made us all aware that any swearing will be edited out of the broadcast. I have made 4 documentaries with the BBC in the past and feel that they should have been aware of what to expect from turrets and work harder to prevent anything that I had said, which after all was some 40 rows back from the stage from being included in the broadcast. As I reflect on the auditorium, okay, so this is the part she copied. I was reading above. As I reflected on the auditorium, I remember there was a microphone just in front of me, and with hindsight, I have to question whether this was wise, so close to where I was seated, knowing I will tick. Yeah, they set him off. I mean, I don't know much about his condition. One of the things I'm fully aware, it's involuntary. When something is involuntary, that means you have no control of it. Okay? However, to learn languages, to learn to speak, to learn words, it is thought. How come out of all the words around the world, how many languages does this guy speak? Within his vocabulary, of all things, this is what he said? Give me a break. This is a big British mess. They are all pointing the fingers at each other. John Davison, BBC, and BAFTA. They never expected Black Americans to show up and defend our own. Yep, that's it. That is it. I'm telling you, they're going. The more they do when the stupidity, the more they're digging their thing further. All right, I think they were counting on it, actually. They haven't learned a thing since Meghan Sussex. We will not let you abuse us with your racism. They use the black Brits being meek and never standing up for themselves. Little did they know black Americans don't play about this type of shit. Okay. This is why there's some stuff I put for my members only, because my thinking sometimes is out of this world. There is this concerted effort, all right? And where I say evil originated, and this is where this thing is, they're trying to close off the evilness globally, okay? The two groups that they are having issues with are black Americans, foundational black Americans, and Haitians, because they have been at this for a very long time. The UK, the white supremacist type of people. Okay, they are working along with what's going on in the US as well.
Minute, are you going to do the exercise?
I will do it.
Strange turn when another deputy on scene tries to explain something to DeSareth, and DeSareth notices his accent.
You know what? Call my supervisor.
Okay. Do you want to do the exercises or no?
I'll do it. But you know what? What's homeboy doing down there? You know, guys, come on.
Make sure we all sit, because when it's out of the water, we don't want to get hit. We don't want you to get hit. That's why we're trying to do the exercise. That way we can move on.
Are you Haitian?
That's nothing to do with my wrist, buddy. That way we can move on.
Are you Haitian?
That's nothing to do with my wrist, buddy.
My question was, are you Haitian?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he's from. Okay. Look, man, I really...
So when we see they trying to say Haitian is saying this about black Americans, you do not know who's behind it. I have said this before. You do not know who's behind the computer typing it, penning, the two people they're trying to eliminate. Right now, they have their people in their respective countries where they want them to be. I don't know how the Brits respond to when things like this happen. So they already know how to manage black Brits, but they do not know how to manage African Americans. And then they've been added with the Haitians. And they already have the neighbors to do whatever it is that they're doing, because America is sending a lot of money to the DR to do their bidding for them. They keep on claiming it's drugs and all of that. Yes, there may be drugs, and sometimes I think they planted to point. Okay, I could go on with this, because these people, they don't want to solve problems. They want to create problems so they could take control at the end of the day. So this thing goes way beyond to what we are seeing. It is much bigger than what we are seeing. Not only to take attention away from them for their stupidity, okay? And they're not willing to change. That's the thing as well. They're not willing to change. But one thing they have mastered is how to manipulate people's mind. And the thing that they were trying to do with the squirrel type of thing, but American keep them in the Sussex squad still putting the thing out there saying, no, we're not gonna let this go. The Epstein thing. Oh my God. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. All right, we're still talking about BAFTAs. There's a couple things that were being put out there regarding BAFTA. Okay, so there's me here responding to it. The deliberate deflection from, guess what? The Prince Andrew Epstein pedo allegation and Prince William's earthshit connection with Epstein and the Middle East gentleman. Tourette syndrome is an involuntary movement. Language or words are learned. So the combo of the N-word and his Tourette syndrome is distraction. Okay, the squirrel type of thing. I was responding to Dr.Shola. All right, nope. I won't kill myself. I'm not retarded. I'm not the N-word here. I'm not there's the C word. To all the hate mailers in my mailbox using Tourette's as your subject for hate, you're cowards. Yeah. Yep. They already created, and then they were using that the guy condition as an excuse. Stupid. God, do your thing. Next tweet. Now, one person is talking about Prince Andrew since the BAFTAs incident. Well played, Crown. Why does BAFTA and BBC in it are sinister with it, and it happened during Black History Month. We need to post Andrew's arrest photos of him sitting low in car so we can keep it going. Alright, Crown equal drama queen. Quiet is kept William hate black womanhood because there is a secret black sister born before him. Then Harry met Meghan. Okay, you just did so. False. Is that an ad? No. The same old formula never fail. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The video that I just put at the beginning, that's it. They know how to play it. They're masterful at it. Alright, so there's this. Like many of us suspected, at BBC intentionally allowed two prominent black men being called the N-word to be broadcast to the world, while a black man asking for humanity for Palestinians to be silent. So, okay, everything was probably scripted. Maybe the thing that they were reading was reading for them, I'm assuming, and then they timed the guy with the Tourette syndrome while they're doing that to say it. I don't know if any black American will show up anymore. Okay, let's see here from Variety. Warner Brothers executive immediately contacted BAFTA after the N-word was shouted while singers duo Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting at the ceremony. Per sources, the execs requested the incident be removed from BBC's time delay broadcast going out later that night and were assured the request had been passed on. However, the broadcast originally aired with the racial slur not edited out. There's that here. And just like that, no one is talking about Prince Andrew, and y'all wonder why BBC allowed two black men being called a racial slur on the global stage to be broadcast. There was an interview that Delroy did, and I have spoken about him many times on my channel, where he came to the US because of this type of things. And he is so respected, and my God, these freaking monsters out there. Oh, my God. Nobody should be facing this. And meanwhile, look at these idiots doing unethical things. My God. The BBC decided to create a scandal to deflect from a scandal. I'm not having it. Daily Mail or Daily News. Queen Elizabeth knew Andrew had prostitute at Buckingham Palace, report says. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor photographed leaving police station in the back of a car after his arrest. Jesus. There should be firing and resignation happening at BAFTA and BBC. They won't do anything because they got the result they wanted. That is true. What word to me is, why won't this black man seek humanity for his community instead of banging on about Palestine? Okay, I think as people, we feel the pain of other marginalized group. If we know what happened in the Middle East, there's some images I cannot share. These people are evil. No, they are evil. I mean, I'm thinking there's some people who have, let's say, one piece of bread left in their hands to eat. They will still cut it to share it with other people. Even though in the US we are going through some stuff, we saw what was happening. It was very sad to see that other Palestinian Americans didn't see the same way African Americans saw what was happening. And this stupid comment here saying, instead of being on about Palestine, you know about the multitasking? We could do all of that. Okay, I think as people, we feel the pain of other marginalized groups as well and empathize with them. Unfortunately, many groups don't feel anything at all for our struggles. That's very true. I'll always support marginalized groups struggling to survive, but also hurt knowing it won't be reciprocate. Yeah, that's a very good response to that. But this is the thing as well. These people, they're creating problems. Each time you think you're done with one problem, and they come back to create it. People are still posting it. I took screenshot of this to put on my community board, but it's through the video. I love a good protest. Anti-billionaire group Everyone Hates Elon hung a framed photo of Andrew Mount-Windsor in Paris, the Louvre, with the placard, quote, "He's sweating now, 2026. The photo was on display for about 15 minutes before it was removed by museum security. There's that. TV Wonder driving him. He's blind. That's a very good Photoshop. Okay, I hope it's still in place in the Louvre and hasn't been stolen. There's the laugh here. When I first saw this story yesterday, I thought it was AI, then realized it was real. Laughing my ass off. Support for Andrew. All right, next tweet. God is good. God is good. They're running scared. I hope America do good comes the next elections, because we have everything. Everything meaning that we see the full display of what they're trying to do. Everything in terms of their racism, how they want to turn the country into, and, taking things away from the American people, to make proper decision once we go voting. That's what I mean by everything. All right, so there's this here. Okay, guys, I can now officially declare that the monarchy is in crisis. They will soon be accepting application for even us commoners to be working royals. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go, but are they saying anything? Let's see, 20 seconds.
The Middletons, an ordinary family with an extraordinary future. That influence could be the thing that saves the royal family. Is it time for them to become honorary royals? They really are royals in all but name. The Middletons, should they be working royals? Saturday at 9:15. Watch, stream on 5.
Okay. I thought that was something recent. I don't know how old this video is. The Middleton are the influence to save the royal family. Same family that can keep their business afloat and ended up in debt. Yeah, they tried to bring it, or shouldn't I say they, she, the mom, tried to bring it in the US. All right. Major headline to, okay, that's an ad. Seems we're heading for the Shin monarchy, not new secret weapons. Elizabeth will prefer to die rather than whatever the F this is. All right, next tweet. Okay, Dr.Shola. Okay, come on, pause. Okay, bloody hell. What do you mean we should think of Andrew because of his mental health? That's his father with children. What about the victims and survivor? What is this mess? God help us. God help us. Let's listen.
I suppose I do feel...
Jesus.
I feel concern, actually, as I'm watching this story unfold. And I suppose that two things can be simultaneously true. That it can have been a long time coming. It can have been, one of the sort of texts I got this morning from a colleague, former colleague, just said, finally. We, in one way, a lot of us have been expecting this to unfold. But when it does, there is somebody at the centre of it, and it is a father, and there are children, and there is a mental health question. And I suppose that's what's sort of holding me back a bit and saying this is a pretty serious moment. It's a grave moment. It's not a sort of jumping up and down moment.
No, of course.
There's a special place in hell.
I would love to hear what O'Brien said, because he tends to be very on point on things. This is a guy who enjoy himself on somebody else's children's against their will. What the F is this woman talking about? Not Dr.Shola. I didn't even hear what Dr.Shola is saying. To give him a passive thing to feel sorry for. What the F? In the US right now, some of the MAGAs, okay, these are some people with anger issues with what they saw on those Epstein files. There are some who took the time and go look at it. I have enough. I'm trying not to look at it because it's just too much. They can't stand it. I don't think this will ever leave their mind. All right, so let's continue. This is Dr. Shola's spot here.
There is a special place in hell for some women. What you just heard from Emily Maitlis, the renowned British broadcaster and journalist, right there was violence. I don't know about you, but my blood was boiling. Because what do you mean? What do you mean by empathizing with and humanizing Andrew, the perpetrator? Are you okay? He isn't just centering and humanizing Andrew, the perpetrator, as the victim. She's putting him on the same level as the victims and survivors, putting them on the back foot. This is a man who allegedly exploited young women like Virginia Giuffre.
Okay, there's something she just said here. Okay, once I listen to it again, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna shift to a different topic and then come back to this again. Maybe around here.
Andrew, the perpetrator, as the victim. She's putting him on the same level as the victims and survivors.
Okay, that part here, where she's putting Andrew in the same level as the victim when he was the perpetrator. This is exactly what Israel have done. Okay, I always feel, it wasn't written anywhere, I don't know. I always felt like Israel, the ones who's destroying the Middle East, are the same Nazi group who took the pain of the Jewish people that they kill. Now they transfer the pain and suffering to the Nazis, and then they become the Jews. So whenever people's talking about anti-Semitism, and they all of a sudden, that's the reason for them to I don't know, to do that thing, or you cannot talk about this, they are the Nazi who burned the Jews, who took the Jews that were killed. Okay? And the Inferno, they burned them and all of that. Those Jewish people are the Nazis, and then they took the pain of the Jews, make it their own, and then they transform themselves to what we see here. I always felt that, because what they just did to Palestine, if they remember what their ancestors went through in Germany, there is absolutely no way they will do what they did in the Middle East. Okay? I hope I explained myself. Let me move it back again so you could hear that part, and then I'll continue.
Empathizing with and humanizing Andrew, the perpetrator. Are you okay? This isn't just centering and humanizing Andrew, the perpetrator, as the victim. She's putting him on the same level as the victims and survivors, putting them on the back foot. This is a man who allegedly exploited young women like Virginia Giuffre. Andrew, who participated in sleeping with women who were trafficked to him by Epstein. And somehow, this is a great moment about him. Not about the women. Not about the women who have been waiting for justice. And the only time he gets arrested is not for his vile acts against women, but because, you know what, he abused the office he held as UK trade envoy. Make it make sense. The only reason Emily is empathizing and humanizing Andrew is because he's a prince, because of his wealth, his class, and he's a member of the royal family. Remember when I asked you where the white women to protest and demand action following the revelations from Epstein files? Well, here they are, the facilitator, Ghislaine Maxwell, the defender, Lady Victoria Hervey, and the empathizer, Emily Maitlis. Because riddle me this, why the hell should we give a rat's ass that he's a father? When he was sleeping with girls, he was old enough to be their father. Did he think of his daughters? Did he think that those girls had fathers too? He's a rat's ass about his mental health. His mental health wasn't an issue when he was enjoying the benefits of being Epstein's BFF. All this while he and other vile, powerful men exploited young women and girls trafficked for sex. You know what, Emily? You and Andrew's mental health can kiss my royal black chuddy. How dare you police tone how we react, saying, it's not a time to jump up and down. How often do women see powerful men brought down? Shame on you.
I agree with her. Okay, Emily was also close friend to Mendelssohn. Baggage for God. You could pause and read these. Let me go to the next one. I'm almost 30 minutes. Tessa on Harry and Meghan. Okay, let me pause and make sure if I should switch some stuff. Okay, 2 more and then that'll be it. The British media latest stunt dragging Meghan Markle into the mess around Prince Andrew is a transparent exercise in cowardice. Deflect, smear, repeat. This is not journalism. It's institutional rot, pathetic. Right, cheap and obvious trick by royal family, vile tactic. Despite their continued and costly effort, people like Meghan and Harry Abolish the monarchy. There's that. Oh my God. We're all on them now. Well done to the Sussexes for living and living their best lives far away from the stench of the UK Murdoch media. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. One more and then that'll be it. The last one is very short. It's okay. Why is that each time Willy and Charles effed up, monarchists want Harry and Meghan to be dragged into the mess to save the monarchy? I hope Harry and Meghan continue living their lives and stay far away from this shitstorm. Let the whole thing burn down. Okay, as I think if after the midterm election, people vote accordingly, and then the people we put in the Senate and the House do their job, then we might see some change and accountability, and the kind of power that Trump should not have, okay, will be pushed back to put him in his position where his authority is supposed to be. Because he seemed like he's putting his hand on every issues where we have different department, different level within the government that's supposed to do certain things. But Trump wants, I mean, he did say it, he wants to be a dictator to control everything. But in a democracy, especially in the US, the president is not an authoritarian or dictator to control everything. All right, so if the midterm election goes accordingly and the people we elect stand on point, understand their position, their work within the Senate and the House, then we might start seeing some change. Okay, but right now, Trump has all his MAGAs in places that he needs to be. All right, so yeah. And you should start seeing the crumble of the monarchy as well. Because I could see the hand in hand of them. I don't know if I explained it right. Both of them will crumble one after another. In the shadow of Andrew, Prince Harry's exile just became more shameful. The House of Windsor does not treat every member of their team equally. That's for sure. The private security and half in and half out working royal status that the Yorks enjoy was not granted to the Sussexes. Okay. There's that full article. All right, so there's that. The British royal family, she is saying that Meghan and Harry have been treated badly. I may not know Meghan personally, but from what I've observed, she never again sacrificed herself, her businesses for that family, and she seems like those people who don't look back. Okay, I totally agree, and thank goodness for that. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next one, and this is my last one. It's a random tweet that I saw. I don't even think I followed the person who put this. Okay, dumbass white British idiots that have been calling Meghan Markle every racist name in the book on here for over a decade are arguing and trying to mitigate how black Americans should feel about a slur. Kiss my ass. All right, so people are getting it. All right, this is the thing. They thought they will do that thing and then people just move on. No. They actually just put themselves into the radar of other Americans, didn't care about them. They're making it worse for themselves. And the other thing we could learn from what happened at the BAFTA, not only many Americans didn't even know it exists. Okay, I didn't know until I started looking into Harry and Meghan. And Meghan was giving to be patron of the theater in the UK when she was over there. But what we could learn from what just happened is that the moment the incident happened, you see a lot of African American came to back up, to protect Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. African American came to back them up. But the other thing we could learn from that as well is that even though African American understand the disability of Tourette syndrome, they also emphasize the racism that goes behind the N-word, while the UK somewhat like disregard the implication of the N-word, but only focus on the disability of the guy. I mean, African American are not blind. They understand, actually they are more compassion when it comes to disability. When you look at African American perspective, they understand that, but they made sure that it's not about the disability that they're upset about. They were focusing mostly on the N-word. The apology should be made, which they have done by now, because I did it, the original recording was done a while ago, but I'm editing a bit later. But they have apologized. But if the outcry then really pushed by African American, they will never have apologized. The UK tends to disregard the feeling of black people when it comes to racial issues. Okay, even though the disability is, should be looked into as well, but the UK completely, at the beginning, okay, not now, but at the beginning, they disregard the feeling and the implication of the N-word. They focus mostly on the disability. African American understand the disability. Okay, I'm sort of repeating myself. They understand the disability aspect of things. But let's say, for instance, let me use an example. Someone with a disability. I don't know. Let's say you have a wheelchair. You roll, or maybe you blind. Okay, you bump into somebody. Okay, we understand you're blind. You didn't see. You bump into somebody. What would be the first thing the blind person could say is, "Oh, I'm sorry." And guess what? The person they bump into will understand. You were blind and said, "That's okay." But with the Tourette syndrome thing, we understand you have that particular disability, but the word that you said, it hurts a lot of black people's feeling. Eventually, I think he did apologize, but I think the apologize came because there were a lot of outcry from the U.S., okay, to not make an excuse because he's disabled. That way, you don't need to apologize. The black people's feeling doesn't matter. All right, so that's all. Let me finish with this video. Okay, so I'm done. I have more, but I'll do another video. The next video that the next tweet that I'm gonna show on my next video will be this. We're gonna start with that. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. A lot of thumbnails that I need to do. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
We ask for forgiveness and please come back.
and a happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.